Welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Mr. Litwai Dumi, and welcome, Clearize. Today, before we start with our lesson, let us remember to sanitize our hands. Make sure all the parts of your hands are sanitized. We also need to remember about keeping the social distance by stretching out. Today's lesson is on estimation and measuring. Okay, let us go to page 22 on our booklet where we have to start the work of today, estimating and measuring. So the competencies there is to estimate and measure, whereby we are measuring the length, mass, time, and temperature. We also need to know the temperature of the melting ice. Words we need to know before we start. We need to know what is an estimate. An estimate is making a smart guess, judgment, or prediction. The answer should be near the actual answer. Measure, to find the size or the amount or the degree of something using the instrument, and this should be the actual answer you are getting. Evaluation, assessing something in a numeric way or descriptive, and then you also have to compare your estimate to your actual answer. With the table, length, mass, time, and temperature, we'll do this practical activity or explanation by doing one at a time. So we'll start with length. There it's to read through length. The definition of length is a distance between 2 points. You are given an example of point A and B, and the line in between is indicating the distance between those 2 points. If you are to estimate length, you have to give a better guess or a prediction in such a way that it must make sense. We are having line PQ, and that line, if one have to guess it right, I would say that is 5 centimeters. And to record it, it's already done for you. And if you look at there, the answer 5 centimeters, you can see that there is an equal sign which is not looking like an equal sign. It is called approximation. So an estimate, you must not use the sign of equal. You must use approximation, which is exactly that sign which is there before 5 centimeters. How to measure length and the instruments that we have to make use of. You can measure that line PQ. The line is there under estimation. And after we measured this, we find out that the length was 4.5 centimeters. And that is the actual answer. The instrument used, you can use a ruler, a meter stick, measuring tape, measuring wheel, the odometer, But some of these instruments are used depending on the length that you are measuring. For example, if you are to measure a soccer field, the length, you cannot use a meter stick because it's short. So you can use a measuring wheel or measuring tape. The odometers are found in cars, so you also need to know that. How to evaluate this? You can take an estimate minus your measure, or you can take your measure minus your estimate. You have to make use of the bigger number. And by doing that, I think there is a slight mistake there. What you have to do is to subtract 5 minus 4.5. Then you can get your answer as 0.5. There it's given as 1.5. It's also fine. If you look at the scale from 1 up to 5, you are going to rate yourself and see either your estimation was better or poor. The gap between your estimate and measure should determine either you have made a right estimation or a wrong one. In the comment should be answering the question, how is your estimate compared to your measure? If the estimate is good, it means your estimate should be so close to the actual answer. Now we have to do it in a practical way, length. So we use an example that we are going to measure here. So allow me to move to the chalkboard so that I can explain length. We will have to measure the length of a pen. So for us to measure this length of a pen, we need to know which instrument we can use. We said instruments which are here with us today, we have a measuring tape. This is a 5-meter measuring tape. It can only measure the length of within 5 meters. We also, you can just take one ruler there. It can measure any length between 0 and 30 centimeters. So it depends what object you are measuring. So in this case, we use a ruler to measure the length of this pen. You can just have it. So first we'll have an estimate. We'll have measure, and then we'll evaluate. So this will be the pen, which is length. You can do this also at home. So we are going to do it on the table. You can just place the pen on the table. I want you to place the ruler straight, starting with it must start at 0, where the marking line starts. And then you have to shift it a little bit. Okay, straight. And we can say that this is exactly 14.5 centimeter. So this is 14.5 centimeter. And I've given the measurements, but I didn't give the estimate. And if I ask a learner or a student to give me the estimate while the person already know the measure, then this experiment won't be that effective, because first we must give our estimate and then you have to measure. It's just for one to understand it much better. So we are going to use a different pen and do it proper. So we will use this pen here. You can just start measuring it. You can just start measuring it. But this question comes back to me. What could be the estimate of that pen? I will give it without measuring. I'll say maybe that pen is maybe 17 centimeter. And then going back to the measurement, I will see that is exactly how you have done it proper. I'll say it's 14, this is 14.6. So this is 14.6 centimeter. And this is the actual answer. So to evaluate my estimation to see if I have done it proper, I can take the highest number, which is 17 centimeter, minus 14.6 centimeter. Of course, we can do this as 17.0. And we say 14.6. And we have to subtract. We are now at mathematics, so we have 16. We have 10 here. So we'll be having 10 minus 4 is 10 minus 6 is 4. Take away 4 from 6, you have 2. This is 0. Centimeter, centimeter, centimeter. So I can see that my difference, the difference I have is 2.4 centimeter. And on the scale, which is from 0 to 5 to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. On the scale, this is poor, and this is excellent. So on the scale, I can see that I was not that so close to 14.6 because I went a little bit higher. So if I have to rate myself, I will say I will maybe be at 3. I'll be at 3 because the work, if my estimation was 15, which is so close to 14.4, then I'll say that is an excellent guess. But since the gap is 2.4 and this is way far, I will say the estimation was good but not excellent. So the comment, I will say my estimation was good but not excellent. The estimation was good but not excellent because there is a very big gap of 2.4 centimeter. That is length. First, you need to estimate, you have to measure, and then you have to evaluate. And then that is how you have to do it. So we have to move back to our book our booklet on page 24. On page 24, we have to move to mass. Mass is the amount of matter that takes up an object. In short, we say how heavy is your school bag, how heavy is a bag of sand, and so on and so on. The estimate, you can take one loaf of bread and estimate the mass by feeling how heavy it is, and then you can record that in the table there. Take one, when it comes to measure, this is measuring when you are doing it to get the actual answer. You can take still the loaf of bread and you have to place it on the scale and take the recording or the readings. You can also do that. The difference, or how to evaluate, you must find the difference, the biggest value minus the smallest value, and then you can rate your work and also do the comments. Time, we have to continue with time. It tells us about the past, the present, and the future. For example, how long will it take to complete a 100-meter race? To estimate that, you need to make a smart guess. And then to measure that, you have to use your stopwatch. And the instrument that we use to measure time, we use clock or the watch. There are two types. There is digital clock and analog. And the evaluation, you have to do the same. Temperature is the measure of how cold or hot something is. For example, your body temperature or the temperature of boiling water. And the estimate question could be, what could probably be my body temperature? You can use a thermometer. A thermometer is an instrument that we use to measure the temperature and is recorded in degrees Celsius. And the evaluation, you have to find the difference. You rate your estimate and also write your comments. Let us go back to the chalkboard and do mass, time, and also temperature. While we are doing mass, temperature requires time, so we need to boil water. So allow me to do some lighting here. I need fire. I have a stand with spirit. It's just alcohol which is helping me to have fire to boil some water. Here I'm having water which is just from the tap. It is not that cold, it's not that warm. And then I'll wait until this water boils. We've got a scale here, and we'll be measuring mass using the scale. We say the instrument for measuring mass is, you can use a balance or a scale. We have a clock here. For time, it can help us to measure time. So, to start with mass, I would like to do it on your table. It should be exactly at 0 there. And that is there at 0. It will move a little bit. Yeah. So that is at 0. So you're going to help me to measure how heavy will this macaroni be. But first, remember, we need to do the estimate. We have to measure, and then we have to evaluate our work. So in order to give a better guess, I need you to fill this, to just fill it. But I will be the one to give my estimation, and after that, then we have to measure it there so that we see the difference. I hope the fire is on. So that we see how, what will be the difference. By lifting this, I could feel maybe it will be probably maybe 550 grams, somewhere there. Maybe 550 grams, because when I felt it, I could see that it's heavy. But we have to measure it, so I want you to take it out and place it on top of the, I hope it will not fall, it's fine. Okay, if you look at the reading here, it goes straight to 500. If I have to round it off, it has to go to, it's pointing at 500 grams. If it's pointing at 500 grams, I just want us also to confirm, because the company that is doing this, they also indicate how heavy this is, the mass of this, and they indicate it here. And you can see that even through the measurement, it gives us the correct amount, and it helps us also, it helps the household people not to complain that one is having more and the other one is having less. So with that, we go back to our work, which is the estimate I gave is 550 grams and the measurement is 500 grams. We need to find the difference in order to evaluate our work. We take the biggest amount, which is 550. We subtract 500. We'll get a 0, we'll get a 5, we'll get nothing. And this is grams, grams, grams. So the difference here is 50 when it comes to, because these are hundreds. So if you look at this gap, it's very small. On our scale, 550 and 500, they are a little bit near each other. So if I have to rate my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if I have to rate my work here, I will say 550 is close to 500. So I'll give myself a 4, and I'll say, remember 5 is excellent, and here is poor. So I'll say when it comes to evaluating my work, I would say my estimate was very good because 550 is close to 500. So the prediction which I have done makes sense and it's a good prediction. And that is mass. We also have a scale here which you can also use to measure the mass, but in this, for you to make use of, you can just hold, but it must be on something which is fixed. But this is just a demonstration that we have to, in order to measure this, you know, it have to hang and it doesn't have a whole way it can hang. You can put it in a plastic. The mass of a plastic is very low and it cannot, and then you hang it there. And then when you take the measurement, of course, you have to be, your eyes have to be straight with the weight ends, and it points for me at 500 there. But you have to, as I said, you have to hold this, it have to hang on a fixed object. So the scale is still giving us 500 grams. So that means it was done before packed. So that is about mass. We have to look at, we have to go to time. Time is to measure how long you took to finish a certain work. This one I'll give it to you to just give me any guess. Now we are going to measure this pen again. We did it already. So you need to guess maybe how many seconds will it take us to finish measuring this pen. You can take any guess. Maybe 1 second.
I think
2. 2. Okay. Your guess is 2 seconds. 2 seconds. You are going to do it, and you give me you give me the number, the answer. So you have a pen, you have a ruler there. I'll be keeping time. As you start, my stopwatch will also start. On the 3 count, when I go until 3, you start. And then when you give me the answer, that's when I stop. We start 1, 2, 3. 14.5. And I stopped. And the time which is here is 3 seconds. 3 seconds, to find the difference, is 3 minus 2. Then the difference is 1 second. Meaning, 2 seconds are near 3 seconds. That means your estimate is at 4, which is also very good estimation. Your estimation is good because 2 seconds are so close to 3 seconds. And the comment is a good guess, and the rating, it should be 4. When is it 0? For example, if you could guess 1 hour, it would take you 1 hour to measure the length of a pen. Then if you measure it and you find it in 3 seconds and you gave your prediction as 1 hour, then that would be poor. That would be a poor estimation. When is it excellent? When it becomes 3. When your estimation is 3. I can hear the sound of water is about to start boiling, and that is about time. So back at home, learners can do those activities using all the means you have. You can temperature, you can take a temperature at any shop or mall. They are taking temperature with the electronic thermometer, the one which is looking like a gun. You can record that temperature. Mass, you can do it at school with your teacher. Time, you can do it at home. And length, you can also do it at home. Now we need to move to temperature, whereby we have to use the instrument used is a thermometer. This is a thermometer. So what is here is alcohol, mercury. So it has to move up there. And this goes until, it can measure until 100 degrees Celsius or 110 degrees Celsius. We need to find out the temperature of boiling water. So our water is about to boil, but with that, why don't we measure the temperature of water, which is just from the tap? The temperature inside this room is 15 degrees Celsius. Is there at 15 degrees Celsius for this. So it's 15 degrees Celsius in this class. And then we have to take the normal water. We need to find out. So what you can even do it here. We can do it here. Do you want to do it? You have to hold on this black holding here thing. And then the bulb must be completely in the water because it's the sensitive part. So it must be in the water, but it must not touch the bottom of the beaker or the whatever you have to use. So you can just insert the down a little bit again. It's fine. It's fine. It can still move. Okay, just there. Just there. Just there. Okay, just go up a bit. I can see that the temperature of water is 14. It moved down to 14 degrees Celsius, and that is the temperature of water we took from the tap. But we have to do our experiment on the water. I can see that the water is about to start, and we need to give the estimate first. Do you want to give an estimate, or should I give? Of boiling water. What could be the temperature of boiling water? Maybe Can we say maybe 70 degrees Celsius? Or maybe
I think 80.
80. Okay, so let us estimate as 80 degree Celsius. So that is our estimation. So we have to measure now. So how I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it because it's fire involved here. So I have to insert it completely in the water. And then you can see the alcohol is moving up. And then boiling water goes until, okay, take the reading. It's moving, it's moving. The time you take, you can just come close. We are told, so it's moving still. So it's moving still. Now the water is boiling now. So 95. So let me just off the fire. So it was 95 degrees Celsius. That is the water, which is the temperature of water which is boiling. And for us to find the difference, we have to take 95 minus 80. We have a 5, we have a 1. The difference is 15 degrees Celsius. So if you look at 80 and look at 95, it is not that far from each other. So I'll still say the estimate, I'll still rate myself at 4 and say it's still good, very good. So my estimate is good because it's near 95. But in our science language or proven thesis, we say water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. So this is fixed. Why we did not get 100 here? Maybe the water, this water, might not be pure. Maybe the water is having some sort of chemicals, for example. Why? Because maybe the time that we're supposed to record, maybe that was not the complete time of water boiling. So those could be the reason. But even if you are to round off, obviously you get 100. If you are to round off 95 degrees Celsius, you still get 100 degrees. So water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. We have different types of thermometers we are using. We have the one which is now used at many shops and schools, called the digital thermometer. We have these ones which you can use to measure the substance, temperature of a substance. You have another one you can use at the hospital where you have to put it under the armpit. So there are different thermometers that we use, and those things are called the instruments. With that, I believe you should be able to do the activities, and we need to move to page, we can now go to page 24 on our booklet to explain the activity. Okay, on page 24, the activity, it's in the table form. You need to measure and estimate the length of a pen. That's the first one. Mass of your school bag. It must have books. It must have books inside. Time. Time it took water to boil. And the temperature of a melting ice. Estimation, you must give the estimation before you measure. Don't change the estimation after your measurement. Measurements should be recorded also with a unit. The estimation must also have a unit. You must indicate the instrument that you have used, length. What instrument did you use to measure the length of a pen? Did you use a measuring tape? I don't know. If it's so, you have to write it there. The difference is to subtract the biggest value minus the smallest value. And the evaluation, you must rate yourself. You just need to circle the number from 1 to 5. We have done that depending on your estimation. The comment is for you to answer the question, how close was your estimation to the actual answer? So that is what you have to do in all the 4 measures: length, mass, time, and temperature. With that, we have come to the end of this lesson, but before we leave, we must remember to sanitize always. Make sure you sanitize, all parts of your hands are sanitized. We keep the social distance by stretching out and front, and put on a mask all the time. Stay safe, and from us, it's a bye-bye.
Hi everyone. You can't hug your friends anymore, but you can still give yourself some love, or you can practice how to blow hugs. Mwah, 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 mwah. And until next time, bye!